Today, we'll be talking about how students can start their own garden at school and how they can decorate the area and make it their own. My name is AJ, and I like sharing the word on how students can learn about gardening and ecology at their own schools. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, our beds here are made out of cinder blocks. If you want to see why we made this decision, check out our last few videos in the series. If you utilized a different material, a lot of the same steps will apply for painting, but you may have to use different paints or sealants based on your chosen material. We decided that having gray cinder blocks would be ugly and potentially attract heat, so we painted them white. Then, we developed the idea to let students group up and design their own individual blocks. Groups were given a proportional piece of paper to draw and submit their design. The designs were then painted by art students from the school. For this big mural, the construction team enlisted the help of our school's chapter of the National Art Honor Society to help plant the mural over the course of around 5 hours. The slogan was chosen by several students and teachers for being a good representation of the values of our school. Now, how does the actual painting process work? Well, before painting, rinse the blocks. It's good to wash them off before applying anything. Wet blocks will appear darker, and they will feel damp to the touch. You must be patient and wait, as you might not get as good of a seal on your blocks if they're still wet. After drying, I sealed the blocks with a white concrete sealer. I used a Zinsser exterior primer, but in general, you're looking for a paint that can withstand the outdoors and is meant for high or mid-use areas. And if you can find one meant for gardens, that is even better. To paint the blocks, find a very fluffy roller or a very rough brush. It may take several layers and a bit of pushing to fill in all the small holes. Paint and dry on a drop cloth outside just in case any loose paint or sealant drips. Then wait for the blocks to dry. Your sealer should tell you how long it takes. If you would like to paint over the sealant, look for outdoor exterior paint that is waterproof and durable. For these designs, I only bought 4 cans of paint to save money: black, red, yellow, and blue. If I needed a secondary color, I poured a little paint in a new container and mixed it. Don't mix paints in the original cans, as you still want access to your original colors. Each paint has an area listed on it for how much it will cover, so you can calculate how much you'll need to buy. Remember that you may need to do multiple layers of paint, so factor that into your purchasing decision. To paint the designs, I used a very fine but rough brush. After finishing, thoroughly wash your brushes so they can be reused again. Once your design is done, wait for it to dry and orient the design to face upward so it doesn't drip while drying. Once it's done, congrats! You can go install your design. In our next episode, we'll be talking about picking plants and soil for your garden. Thanks for watching and happy gardening!